Back to RT now. The FBI has released over 100 pages of its 2001 investigation into the Clinton Foundation, putting greater pressure on the families inner circle. The pages detail revelations related to former President Bill Clinton's controversial pardon of the hedge fund manager Mark Rich. Well, Rich was indicted for tax evasion and illegal oil deals with Iran during an embargo. It was the biggest tax case in US history, and at the time, the charges would have landed the trader a 300-year prison sentence. But during the final hours of Clinton's time in office, he was given a presidential pardon following a $1 million donation from Rich's wife to the Democratic Party and also the Clinton Foundation. Many of the release pages have been heavily redacted, and almost a half of them are completely blank. The revelations come as the FBI continues its investigations into Hillary Clinton and her allies. Well, Huma Abedin, the vice chair of Clinton's campaign, is being investigated for negotiating political favours via the Clinton Foundation, while the chairman of Hillary's failed presidential campaign in 2008 is involved in a scandal over foreign governments influencing the US elections. Cheryl Mills, the Clinton Foundation's former director, is facing a probe too over a private server and the alleged mishandling of classified emails. There she is. And another of Clinton's close aides, Philip Raines, her advisor while Secretary of State, is also facing accusations of using a private server for government business. And then we have John Podesta. He's the current chairman of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. He's reportedly involved in payment schemes linked to the family's charity. Lou Rockwell, an economist and author too, says that the Clintons, for him, are reminiscent of the Italian mafia.
The Clintons, remind me of the Godfather movie. Except they're not as interesting as Marlon Brando, of course. But, all these people are crooked. I don't think it's true that the FBI failed to prove that they were crooked. It just, under pressure, I guess, from Loretta Lynch, perhaps Obama, we don't know. They didn't proceed on, and they said, really, there was no intent, so therefore she's not guilty. And I think beginning to touch the significance of the Clinton crimes, we have the 650,000 emails on Huma Abedin's shared computer with her husband, Wiener. She, of course, says she has no idea how they got on there. I keep expecting the Democrats to say the KGB did it, since everything else is blamed on Russia.
Well, with all eyes on Clinton and her FBI investigation, the presidential candidate does continue to try and distract attention by linking rival Donald Trump to Russia. That as some recent polls do show that Clinton's lead is narrowed, and some even put Trump ahead. RT's Caleb Moppin has the details.
How to divert attention from your own scandal onto your opponent? That's right, play your favorite Russia or Putin card. Hillary Clinton has unleashed a barrage of tweets alleging that Donald Trump has pro-Kremlin policies, has done business with Russia, or is somehow linked to Vladimir Putin. And she has solid proof. Hillary Clinton cited computer scientists who say that Donald Trump has a private server with which he is communicating with a Russian bank, which links him to Vladimir Putin. Now, both Donald Trump and the bank in question say this isn't true, but Hillary Clinton is running with it. Now, wait a second. Private server? Foreign cash? Sounds a little bit familiar, doesn't it?
Hillary Clinton has run into trouble for setting up a private email account rather than using the government system.
FBI's probe into Hillary Clinton's emails.
In another email, a top executive makes efforts to link a billionaire foreign donor with a U.S. diplomat.
But don't get distracted.
The people Donald Trump has around him include two men whose activities are reportedly being investigated for their ties to Russia, Vladimir Putin, and Putin's allies. So in these last days, let's not get distracted from the real choice in this election and the consequences for your future.
Now, those who've actually investigated the links between Trump and Russia have a different story. According to the New York Times, the FBI found no link. Too bad. The Clinton camp is not happy. So I'm joined by legal and media analyst Lionel, who has long observed the American political process. Lionel, can you tell us what's going on here? Why is the American presidential election once more refocused on Russia?
When Donald Trump said, perhaps comically, ostensibly comically, he said, hey, Russia or Mr. Putin, if you can you tell us where the emails are, or can you locate them, or something to that effect. obviously a joke. From that came the wild extrapolation that somehow Donald Trump was enlisting the help of Russia and Mr. Putin to involve himself to swing the election in his favor.
Well, Hillary Clinton has accused Trump of believing in conspiracy theories, but it seems that she's giving a lot of emphasis to a kind of conspiracy theory of her own.
It comes down to simply this. We have a 24/7 runaway media. What would have never been allowed on TV 50 years ago now is no problem. Just keep going. We've got to keep this. So if something works, then it's used. And yet, there has never been one connection, one person who says, yes, I am from Russia. I am assigned to throw the election in Mr. Trump's favor. Nothing. And the media, in addition to that, haven't even asked what the bases of these allegations are. So there you have it.
While allegations about Trump's advisors flood the media, it looks like Clinton's advisors are pushing her toward a rather unique strategy of her own. If things get messy, just close your eyes and shout Russia at the top of your voice. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.
Well, RT's Ed Schultz did discuss the claims of links between Trump and Russia with a couple of experts.
We need to be talking about Hillary Clinton. We need to be talking about her foundation. We need to be talking about how she paid for play. We need to be talking about the things that Hillary Clinton has done to this country, what she did to Benghazi.
Should we be talking about Donald Trump and potentially the fact that he was working with the Russian government? Should we be talking about
Donald Trump?
servers?
Donald Trump was not working with the Russian government. Harry Reid made a comment like that.
Know that.
Harry, yes, you do know that.
We don't
Harry
know that,
Reid made that comment. Yes, you do know that. You do know that. Harry Reid made that comment like he does all the time. Yes.
Actually, Brad,
like
there was a report today, rather extensive, that the connection between Donald Trump and the Russian government does not exist. Although there's been a lot of accusations, and of course Harry Reid has come forward and said that Mr. Comey has got some information on that connection, but that is yet to be released. So there's a lot of accusations, but the official position of the FBI right now is that there is no connection between Donald Trump, any unlawful connection between Donald Trump and the Russian government. But I do want to ask you, go ahead.
I was going to say, what we do know about the Russians is that Hillary Clinton has been making sure that they've got all the uranium that they need, and nobody even talks about that, how she's been selling our uranium to the Russians. Okay. So again, Hillary Clinton has all these in her emails, and those are going to come out.
Brad, your response to that?
Sure, and we could talk all day long about, Trump's use of Chinese steel.
Trump is not the Secretary of State.
Hold on, Ernie.
Let him talk, Ernie. Ernie, let him talk.
Moment.
Go ahead, Brad.
We could talk all the time we want about how Trump is using Chinese steel for his business interests, how deeply in hock his business interests are to the Chinese government, about how he, frankly, has done some pretty shady things business-wise. I mean, this is my point, Ed. We have hit rock bottom. Think about the way that this presidential race has unfolded.
You're watching RT International. I'll be back in about half an hour's time. Before that, though, it's Going Underground with Afshin Rattansi. If you're watching us, though, in the UK or Ireland, it's a closer look at the Black Lives Matter movement and its fight for racial equality.